All right. So, sixth length. Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga. 13th chapter, 6th verse. Length. Mahabhutanyankara buddhiravyaktamevacha indriyani dashaikam cha panchachendriya yugocharaha. Then, इच्छाद्वेष सुखम दुःखम संघातश्चेतना धृतिः एतक्षेत्रं समासेन सविकारम उदाहृतम् अमानित्वम अदम्भित्वम अहिंसा क्षान्तिरार्जवम आचार्योपासनं शौचं स्थैर्यैरात्म विनिग्रहः इंद्रियार्थेषु वैराग्यम अनहंकार एव च जन्म मृत्यु जरा व्याधि दुःख दोषानुदर्शनम् असक्तिर अनभिष्वंगः पुत्रदारागृहादिषु नित्यञ्च समचित्तत्वम् इष्टानिष्टोपपत्तिषु मयि चानन्ययोगेन भक्तिरव्यभिचारिणि विविक्तदेशसेवित्वम् अरतिर्जनसंसदि अध्यात्मज्ञाननित्यत्वं तत्त्वज्ञानार्थदर्शनम् एतत् ज्ञानम् इति प्रोक्तम् अज्ञानं यदतोऽन्यथा. So, and if you noticed, both Gayatri and Meera, when I said chant 5 to 12, 6 to 12, they picked up the 7th verse. And that confusion, I remember I told last time, because of the first verse. It's Arjuna Vacha. Because they've introduced, in some versions of the text, they've introduced this Arjuna Vacha in the first verse of the 13th chapter, just to bring in the context. Otherwise, it may seem like suddenly there is a switching of topics, right? After the Vishwarupa Darshanam, suddenly is jumping into Kshetrajna Yoga. So that is just to bring in that context. Now, we saw last week, if you remember, this is about Bhagavan is introducing this whole idea of who am I really? So, am I the Kshetra or the Kshetrajna? Kshetra means the field. Kshetrajna is the knower of the field. The dhatu gnya in Sanskritam, the gnya, it's written like, those who know how in Sanskritam, it goes like this, like an S, and then there is a line, it goes like that. Gnya dhatu essentially represents knowledge, jnanam. The gnya dhatu itself is jnanam. That dhatu itself represents jnanam. Like how Om, the meaning, Om represents various things, out of which Om represents the creative principle. There's somebody, you've seen this, those who have seen this, there used to be a big wall artwork where there is Om shown with beautiful blue color, concentric circles around it. And it would have written that Om has 100 meanings, and one of them is welcome to the gods or something like that. So there is a very beautiful scene that in some houses they will have the large painting, they'll have that. So like that, Om has many meanings, of course, but so it's a symbol, linga. It points to something. So Jna points to Jnanam, knowledge. And Jnanam, we said, we are not talking about Paravidya. We are not talking about Aparavidya. Sorry, we are talking about Paravidya. Aparavidya is the knowledge of the manifest world, the creative world, the knowledge, any knowledge, even if we are studying Bhagavad Gita and memorizing it, that is Aparavidya. Understand? Even if we are memorizing Bhagavad Gita and chanting it, that is still Aparavidya. Because Paravidya is that which Bhagavad Gita is pointing to. Paravidya is that which Bhagavad Gita is pointing to. It is pointing to what? It's pointing to Atman, Aham, Kshetrajna. It is pointing to that principle inside me, which is the conscious principle, always awake, aware, Chaitanya, Satchidananda Swarupaha, Sa Atma. That Atma, that principle which is constantly there within me, watching everything, not reacting, not responding, not participating. Asangatvam, asangoham, 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 punah punaha. There's a very beautiful work by Adi Shankara called Brahmajnanavali. If you get an opportunity, look up internet, YouTube, Brahmajnanavali. Very beautiful work. So many works. It's just so fascinating, and namak lifetime porade. We can just keep reading, talking about it, discussing. There are so many of these. So Brahmajnanavali is a very beautiful work. It's about anywhere between 15 to 20 verses, I think, or some probably less. I don't recall exactly. But the main pada of that verse is asangoham, 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 punah punaha. Asangoham, 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 punah punaha. I am unattached, I am unattached, I am unattached. Tell this repeatedly, punah punaha, punah punaha. I am unattached. In this verse also, the verses that we chanted today, that comes asangatvam. Now, this is jnanam. This is paravidya. This paravidya is what is being pointed out by Bhagavad Gita. Knowing those lines, memorizing, being able to reproduce it anywhere is still aparavidya. If it is coming from within, that recognition is there inside, that is paravidya. The knowledge of the self, the knowledge of the subject, aham iti jnanam, not ahankara, not ahamkaraha, but aham, anahankaraha. There's a difference between atma and anatma. Again, very nicely, Tattva Bodha deals with this, atma and anatma. Atma is that which is the conscious principle, whether you call it Jivatma or Paramatma. It is that spark of the divine in the individual that is manifest, or that is the conscious principle observing and operating in and through everything. That one is the Atma. Everything else is Anatma. This Anatma, Ana in Sanskritam, whenever you put a in front of a verb or a noun, usually assumes it's the opposite of that, right? So, Anatma is saying that it is not the Atma. Anahankaraha, not the Ahankara. So it's pointing to that when the Tattva, and which is why that becomes the Tattva, it is the principle, it is not an object that can be pointed at. You can only point at the object. When I point at the bangle, when I'm pointing at the necklace, I'm pointing at the ring. If it's a golden ring, golden necklace, golden bangle, I'm pointing at the bangle, but I'm actually pointing at the gold. I'm pointing at the necklace, but I'm pointing at gold. I'm pointing at the earring, I'm pointing at gold. But when somebody asks you, what are you pointing out? You can't say I'm pointing at gold. Because gold is the underlying substance. So when you're pointing at something, you have to objectify it. Here we are subjectifying it. We are looking at the subject. Continuously, we have to remember this. When you are sitting quietly, when we are looking at ourselves, remember that we are looking at the subject. We are not trying to create an object. We are not trying to objectify anything, because the whole process here is to become antarmukha. Antarmukha samaradhya bahirmukha sudurlabha. Antarmukha. Nochur Swami tells it very beautifully. He says, everybody is manomukha, but we should become antarmukha. He made this in the Sri Sailam Yatra that we had. He said, everybody thinks, by thinking they become, by thinking they think that, okay, We've been told to do mananam. Now, we are continuously thinking. Thinking is not contemplating. You have to know the difference. Thinking is pure mental activity. Thinking can only lead to more mental activity. Contemplation should lead to awareness. Contemplation and introspection will lead to awareness. Thinking will not lead you to awareness. Thinking will only lead you to more and more mental activity. So, this is where the Kshetra Kshetrajna concept Bhagavan is bringing to say that thinking is required to start looking at things different than me. Anatma, Anatma, Anatma. This is Neti, Na iti, Na iti, Na iti. Not this, not this. I use thinking as a tool. But if I'm constantly only doing this, when will I get to that place where I'm actually experiencing a glimpse of that I? It'll be very tiring, right? If somebody goes and tells you today in the lawn, in your garden lawn, you you should, all the grass, there's a lot of grass grown. I want you to clear the grass, but you should not use a lawn mower. You should not use a cutter. You should not use any tools. என்ன பண்ணுவோம்? ஒரு ஒரு கிராஸா புடுங்கி போடுவோம். You got to keep pulling out every one grass, one blade of grass to clear the whole lawn. It'll seem like it's never ending. Where is the end to this? By the time you, oh, Shivakami actually did this. when you when you do this, it'll feel like forever. So by doing infinitely neti, na iti, not this, not this, infinite number of times you do, you will not jump to the infinite. The self is not obtained or experienced by just doing this. Understand this. This is a process. This is a prakriya. We do this, but we also become silent. Only in silence can you experience that. Only in silence. So you have to do action in the right direction, be it physical or mental, and then stop. There is muddy water. You want to see the reflection of the moon. What do? You keep removing the mud. You have to clean the water. But after a certain point, if you say, I'm going to clean, 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 perennially clean, I'm just going to keep cleaning, the water is always shaking. You will not be able to see the reflection. What do you have to do? You have to clean for a period of time and then stop. You have to let the water settle. And then there will be the reflection, little bit of the reflection seen. You want to see a better reflection, now again go clean. And then stop. Why is that stopping required? The stopping is more important than the cleaning. But can I say that cleaning is not required? No. If you don't clean, the reflection will not be seen only. But is cleaning the most important thing? No. You have to stop. Only then it will settle and then the reflection will be seen. This is exactly how it is with us. We have to do activity, mental activity, physical activity. All sadhana, swadhyaya, seva, all of that we need to do, but we also have to stop. The experience of kshetrajna, what Bhagavan points out, that kshetrajna cannot be experienced unless you stop. So understand this, both are important. Action, be it seva, swadhyaya, sadhana, whatever we do, very important. Stopping is also important. So says, the sixth verse he says, Mahabhutanyahankara buddhiravyaktameva cha indriyani dashaikam cha panchachendriya gocharaha. So This kshetra is composed of all these elements, these five great elements: the ego, the intellect, the unmanifest, then the five senses of knowledge, which is your eyes, ears, nose, smell, touch, and then karmendriyas, the five karmendriyas, which is what? Speech, locomotion, grasping, excretion, reproduction activity. All of these are your karmendriyas. And then the manas, all of these. And then the pancha golakas, objects of the senses. So you have five karmendriyas, five jnanendriyas, and the pancha golakas. What are the golakas? The golakas are through which the indriyas operate. The jnanendriyas operate through the golakas. The eye that you see is just a golaka. It is a holder. And through this holder, the chakshu, the drishya or the drik or the chakshu indriya works. The indriya works. Indriya is the principle that works. The principle of sight, power of sight works through the container, which is the eye. So pancha golaka, pancha gocharaha. All of these they're saying is in the realm of kshetra. And then he goes on to say, Ichchadvesha sukham dukkham sanghatas chetana dhriti etakshetram samasena savikaram udahritam. So everything that you think, sukham, dukkham, ichcha, dvesha, are all aggregates that operate in this field kshetram. Etat kshetram samasena savikaram udahritam. It is all modifications of this. Ichcha is desire, dvesha is ichcha is liking for something, dvesha is disliking something, raga dvesha. Then sukham, dukkham. Sukham, dukkham. These two are also in the realm of the kshetra. Yesterday I was telling someone, what is the measure of a minute or a moment. When you think of joy, when you're experiencing joy for a minute, for 60 seconds, assuming you've had some experience of joy for 60 seconds, and you've had experience of pain for 60 seconds, which stays longer with you? 60 seconds experience, which one stays longer? It's pain that stays longer, right? Why does pain stay longer? Dukkham. The word itself is like that. The end word, look at these two words. Sukham is so light. Sukham. It'll just go away easily. Dukkham. The visarga is there in between. Dukkham. It creates that emphasis. Do come. So dukkham is pain stays longer. The experience of pain. So it's a very interesting analysis. Look at the way the mind works. Okay. Joy I experience for a moment. For a minute, I'm experiencing joy. It lasts for a little while. You talk about it, lasts for a little while. When you have dukkham for 1 minute, you will talk for it for a longer time. See, if somebody comes and suppose you are having itch in your scalp, somebody comes and gives you nice massage, you'll be like that, super. அப்படி சொரிஞ்சுட்டே இரு. So 1 minute you'll do. At the same 1 minute, somebody is taking a small pin and pricking into your finger. 10 years later, you will tell this person, he pricked my finger. But the same guy would have given a nice head massage when your head was itching, scalp was itching. This is the fact. Look at this. This is how it is. Pain, the experience of pain stays far longer than the experience of joy. And this is the problem. Why? The pain was for a minute, the joy was for a minute, but the experience is exaggerated. The experience of pain is so exaggerated that the experience of joy loses its presence. And because the experience of pain is so exaggerated, we continue to keep looking for joy. Because in our minds, we think all I have is pain. So we keep looking for joy. Think about this. All painful experiences in your life and all joyful experiences in your life, bring them together and compare. Right now, you don't have any pain, which is why you're able to sit. 24 hours, if you have pain for 1 hour, that destroys the rest of the 23 hours. But even 4 hours of joyful experience, does it make the remaining 20 hours exuberant? Doesn't. So think about it. Why does joy not give you the same lasting impression as pain does? This is Maya. If somebody asks you what is illusion, what is Maya? Idda Maya. This is illusion. The mind believes that all I have is pain. என் வாழ்க்கை ஃபுல்லாக கஷ்டப்பட்டிருக்கேன். வாழ்க்கை முழுக்க. Somebody says, really, have you suffered the whole life? Look at it. Think about it. That exaggeration of pain makes us keep looking for joy. Although right now you're fine, everything is fine. Why are you going and searching for, I want happiness, I want joy, I want this, I want that? Because somewhere fundamentally in the mind, there is an exaggeration that I have been subjected to pain. Sukham dukkham, ichchadvesha sukham dukkham, sanghatas-chetana dhritihi, etak kshetram samasena savikaram udahritam. All of these modifications happen in the field, not in you. It is all in this kshetram, not in the kshetrajna. Then he goes, amanitvam, adambhitvam, ahimsa, kshantirarjavam, acharyopasanam, kshaucham, stairyam, atma vinigraha. Amanitvam, humility. Adambhitvam. Adambhitvam means you're being truthful, not a hypocrite. Ahimsa, not causing harm and violence to others. Kshantihi arjavam. Kshanti means to be able to forgive. Arjavam is simplicity. Acharyam upasyam, upasanam. Acharya upasanam is seva to the guru, to the teacher, to your parents, to Bhagavan. Shaucham, cleanliness of both body and mind. Sthairyam, steadfast. Atma vinigraha, controlling. Controlling means regulating. Control means you are better than that. You are not consumed by it. You are Atma Vinigraha means anything, any compulsions that you have, you are not letting the compulsion take charge of you. You are in charge of the compulsion. Atma Vinigraha. Then Indriyartheshu Vairagyam Anahankara Evacha. Indriyartheshu, towards the objects of senses. Indriya Artheshu Vairagyam, dispassion against Vairagyam, towards running, Vairagyam from running towards objects. Anahankaraha, lack of ego. Ahamkara, as we said, what does it mean? Aham karoti iti ahankaraha. I do, I do, I do, I do. I did, I will do, I am doing. Everything, every emotion, thought, action, everything that happens, this entity within us is stamping it, saying with the stamp of aham. If you're sleeping also and you suddenly slapped, your wife is sleeping beside you, டப்புன்னு ஒரு பலார்னு ஆரம்பிச்சு நான் அடிச்சேன் அப்படின்னு நம்ம சொல்ல மாட்டோம். I don't know, I was in sleep, my hand just moved. The wife will be that day timeல பண்ண முடியாதது.
நல்ல ஐடியா கொடுத்து ஜாகிரதையா இருக்கணும்.
That's what I was thinking. Good idea for who அப்படின்னு. So at that time you disassociate yourself, saying it's not me. Aham na karoti. Aham na karomi. I am not doing it. Or I didn't do it. But ahankaraha is that aham as a vritti, as a tattva, it has this ability to establish its presence. That yes, I did, I am the one. It is mine, mine, mine. Aham and mama, both. So he's saying anahankara evacha janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha dosha anudarshanam. So janma, birth, mrityu, death, jara, old age, vyadhi, disease, dukkha, dosha, anudarshanam, which means I am able to see all of this, perceive all of this, because these are all in the kshetra. Then asaktir asaktihi anabhishwangaha. Asaktihi is what? Asangoham, we said, right? That asaktihi, non-attachment, not attaching yourself to something. Asaktihi anabhishwangaha. Abhishwangaha means to crave. Anabhishwangaha is to lack of craving. You don't, there is no, when does a desire become a craving is what we need to watch. A desire is not bad thing in itself. A desire is okay. You have a desire, you try to fulfill it. But when it becomes craving is where it has the ability to completely destroy us. It can completely destroy us because craving is where we lose control. Atma vinigraha. We lose control or charge of ourselves. That takes over. Craving, I mean any form of craving. Craving for love, craving for money, craving for name, craving for position, craving for recognition, craving for acceptance. Karna being such a great in many ways a great exemplary human being, his craving for acceptance made him be on the wrong side all the time. Right? That is craving for anything. Don't on the other hand, they will say that you would have heard people say, oh, that which you ask with intensity, with intense desire that you ask, you will get it. Universe will give it to you with the right intention and intensity. You will do. Correct. But what is the difference between intensity and desire and craving? You have to look at this carefully. Intensity and desire does not mean craving. Craving means it unsettles you if you don't get it when you are craving for it. A friend of mine, there was office, like usually you have these gatherings, you have training sessions, and you have these workshops and all of that. So there's one workshop that was happening, and one of my friends, so the facilitator asked a question: when are you happy? When does one become happy? Or when are you happy? But different people gave different answers. There's one friend of mine who stood up and said, I get happy when I get what I want when I want it. I thought it's an intelligent answer, which is how it is. When I want something, whatever I want, when I want it, I get it, I'm happy. I may want an object, but I would have wanted it 2 days ago. Now I don't feel like. I bring it to you today, it may not evoke joy in you. Or you bring something which I don't want now. I may have a want of it later. Again, it will not evoke joy. So it is both the combination of the desire and the time the desire is arising. At that time, when it gets fulfilled, there is joy. So, here when we're saying anabhishwangaha, lack of desire, it means it is lack of craving. Means craving is that which when you don't get, you are unsettled. It makes you lose your ability of judgment. Viveka nashaha. Viveka nasha happens. Buddhi, buddhi, what is that shloka? Kamat krodha bijayate krodhat. Meera, do you remember this, ma?
काम क्रोधोद्भवं वेगं
Ah,
कामात् क्रोधात् भवति
कामात्
सम्मोहः
सञ्जायते
सम्मोहात्
ah, hold on.
सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः
Smriti vibhramaha. Jayato sangat kamat krodho vijayate
जायतो
kamaha.
काम
I'll tell
जायतो
it. Dhyayato Vishwa. Correct. Go ahead, Mama. Tell.
ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः सङ्गस्तेषुपजायते सङ्गात् सञ्जायते कामः कामात् क्रोधो विजायते
Krodho Vijayate. Continue. Krodho
क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः
Vritti Vibhramaha.
स्मृतिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशः
Buddhinashaha.
बुद्धिनाशात्
Buddhinashat pranashyati. Buddhinashat pranashyati. Smriti Vibhramaha. This is what happens with craving. Your smriti, your sense of viveka goes away. Buddhinashaha. Buddhi is the tool for viveka. Buddhinashaha. When the buddhi becomes nasha, you become deluded. This is the result of abhishwangaha. Anabhishwangaha is what he is suggesting. Abhishwangaha is craving. Anabhishwangaha, lack of craving. Anabhishwangaha, no, where is this? Asakti, anabhishwangaha, putra dara grihadishu. For what? craving for putra, children, dara, wife, griha, adishu, house, basically progeny, relations, and property. Nityam cha samachittvatvam ishtanishtopapatishu. Nityam cha samachittvatvam, the one who is constant, nityam samachittvatvam, even minded, ishta anishta, upapattishu, whether he gets the desired or he gets the undesired, raga dvesha, whether he gets the desire what he desired for or it gets something that he didn't desire, upapattishu, such a person, Mai chananya yogena bhakti avyabhicharini, exclusively putting his mind towards me in bhakti, constantly, vivikta desha sevitvam aratir jana sansadi. So such a person, vivikta desha, goes to solitary places and is drawn to places of solitude where he wants to keep away. Aratir jana samsadi, he wants to keep away from the, the noise of society. The jana, the people, or the commotion of the world, wants to keep himself away. Adhyatma jnana nityatvam tattva jnanartha darshanam. Such a person he gets adhyatma jnanam, the jnana or paravidya. He is able to experience paravidya. Nityatvam, continuously the knowledge of tattva jnanartha darshanam. Eta jnanam iti proktam ajnanam yad atonyatha. So these are such a person who puts his mind completely in my devotion and has inclination for such solitary places, goes to solitary places. Vivikta desha sevitvam aratir jana samsadi. This is very important. Vivikta desha sevitvam, which means, see, a lot of times we think that we also say many times that oh, it has been said that you have to meditate whether there is sound or not, you meditate. Why are you getting disturbed? There are people who come and ridicule in that way. You're saying meditation, close, please don't disturb, I want to sit and meditate. Not many people or not many families appreciate this act. See, if you want to meditate, you know what is said in Bhagavad Gita, some nonsense. They would have read some lines, somebody somewhere, Instagram, something. They will say that, you should, wherever you are, you should be samachittattvam. You should meditate wherever it is you go. You should be, even if you go to the bar, you should be able to sit down and meditate. You go to this thing, movies, you should be able to sit down and meditate. But you have not trained yourself. Understand this. Don't try to either. The problem is, a lot of times when somebody says this, we don't know what to respond to, right? So then we think, by them ridiculing it, we feel uncomfortable. Point is, we are not trained ourselves yet. Say, yeah, one day I will get there. You should say, yeah, one day I'll get to the point where I'm able to, if you pull me to a bar also, I'll not mind, and I'll sit there and I'll be in my dhyanam. I'll be able to keep my peace, my samachittvatvam, but today I am not. So today I need vivikta desha, which means I need solitary places. I need to go to solitary places. Very, very, very important. Remember this. Vivikta desha sevitvam aratir jana samsadi. Extremely important as part of sadhana. Withdraw yourself from the commotion of the world for a period of time. It could be daily, it could be 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours. Over a month, maybe a day. Over 3 months, maybe 3 days. Over a year, maybe 1 week, 10 days, 15 days, 2 weeks. Withdraw. If you don't practice withdrawal from the world, it is very difficult for us to practice withdrawal from within. Pratyahara, the fifth Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga. It is very difficult for you to withdraw within yourself if you don't know how to withdraw from the world. You have to force yourself. Vivikta Desha Aratir Jana Samsadi. You have to withdraw from the world, from the commotion of the world, and find some solitude. Slowly, slowly, slowly practice liking solitude. There's a book called The Art of Being Alone. Very nice book. I have purchased and I've given it to a few people. It's a very nice book. If you, it's available online. You can purchase it. Art of Being Alone. I read the book. Very nice. The lady has written it. It is not loneliness. It is alone. Alone is solitude. Alone is beauty. Alone is auspiciousness. Ekantam. That ekantam has to be practiced. Vivikta desha sevitvam aratir jana samsadi adhyatma jnana nityatvam tattva jnanartha darshanam etajnanam iti proktam ajnanam yad atonyatha. So one who is able to be in this situation, be in the status, understanding all of this, what? Amanitvam, adambhitvam, ahimsa, kshantihi, arjavam, acharyopasanam, shaucham, stairyam, atmavinigraha, indriyartheshu vairagyam, anahankara evacha, janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi, dukkha, doshanudarshanam, asaktihi, anabhishwangaha, putradara grihadishu, nityam cha samachittatvam, ishta, anishtaha, upapittishu, मयि चानन्य योगेन भक्ति अव्यभिचारिणी विविक्त देश सेवित्वम अरतिः जन संसदि अध्यात्म ज्ञानम नित्यत्वम तत्व ज्ञानार्थ दर्शनम एत ज्ञानम इति प्रोक्तम अज्ञानम यदतोन्यथा. So we finished till the 12th verse. Bhagavan is saying that we have to develop these things. These are all different things. Bhagavan is saying develop. And then you come to a place where you commit to samachittatvam. Vivikta deshas aratihi jana samsadi chittatvam. Samachittatvam. And then you operate in the world. Doesn't matter. You are not disturbed. Om kayena vacha manasendriyerva buddhyatmana va prakrite svabhavat karomi yatyat sakalam parasmai narayanaayeti samarpayami सदाशिवायेति समर्पयामि जगदम्बिकेति समर्पयामि सद्गुरुनाथायेति समर्पयामि. हरि ओम तत्सद्गुरुभ्यो नमः. हरि ओम.